Bitcoin price and energy for mining, and highly correlated. This is something I've been talking about for many years, and it's important to understand this as we're moving into the next halving, because this halving is going to be make it or break it for a lot of miners. And it will purely depend on the amount of cost in energy it takes to produce a Bitcoin. Every 4 years, Bitcoin gets cut in half as far as their emissions for the block reward. We're going from around 6 to around 3 Bitcoin here in this upcoming halving in April. And typically what we start to see is a slow rise, a slow uptick in the actual price of Bitcoin to compensate for this, as miners need to sell the Bitcoin for a higher price now because they're making less Bitcoin. The cost of energy is directly correlated to the price of a Bitcoin in the past. Will that continue? We'll have to see. A lot of retail investors are completely unaware of this still, and that's why you end up having this crazy euphoria every 4 years that basically retail investors are like, oh, Bitcoin's going up. They all dump in and FOMO in, and it shoots the price to the moon. And this happens pretty much on a schedule. I talk about it in my crypto mining e-course. For more details at sonofatech.com. If you want to support me that way, that's one way you can do it too. Now, basically there's a UN report. The world's starting to catch on. Retail's going to catch on this time, and it's going to get really interesting. UN scientists evaluated the activities of 76 Bitcoin mining nations during the 2020 to 2021 period and found that the global Bitcoin mining network consumed 173.42 terawatt hours, of electricity. So, a recent study conducted by the United Nations suggests a direct correlation between the price of Bitcoin and the energy needed for mining operations. UN scientists evaluated the activities of 76 Bitcoin mining nations during the 2020 to 2021 period and found that the global Bitcoin mining network consumed 173.42 terawatt hours of electricity. During this time frame, the crypto ecosystem was undergoing a bull run, and Bitcoin rallied to market's all-time high of $69,000 US. The UN report highlighted that, quote, a 400% increase in Bitcoin's price from 2021 to 2022 triggered a 140% increase in the energy consumption of the worldwide Bitcoin mining network. At the time, fossil energy sources accounted for 67% of the electricity generated for Bitcoin mining. However, crypto entrepreneurs have taken proactive measures to increase their dependence on green energy. And just to give you guys an idea, 67% of electricity, being generated by traditional fossil energy sources is quite low compared to other industries, just to give you an idea. Hydropower satisfied over 16% of the total electricity demand of the global Bitcoin mining network. Nuclear, solar, and wind energy sources provided 9%, 2%, and 5%, respectively. However, members of the crypto community called out the UN report for referencing the Mora et al., I think I said that right, 2018 paper, which had overestimated the carbon emission levels of Bitcoin mining rigs by including unprofitable mining rigs in their analysis. And so Nick Carter criticized the UN report for citing completely fake academia in their papers. According to the UN report, the top 10 Bitcoin mining nations at the time were China, United States, Kazakhstan, I'll say it right, Russia, Malaysia, Canada, Germany, Iran, Ireland, and Singapore were responsible for 92 to 94% of the global carbon, water, and land footprint of Bitcoin. The global push for greener alternatives to fulfill the grid demand will also help reduce the carbon footprint of Bitcoin and the crypto ecosystem. Recently, Genesis Digital Assets Limited, a mining and data center company with over 400 megawatts of power generation worldwide, opened a new data center in Sweden running 1,900 Bitcoin mining machines driven by the country's burgeoning renewable energy surplus. Christian Anders, founder of BT.cx, told Cointelegraph that Bitcoin mining is not very common due to high energy prices. However, he added, Sweden, Finland, and Norway have a surplus of energy and negative energy prices from time to time, and primarily renewable energy in the form of hydropower in a remote location which is hard to distribute. In parallel, Bitcoin mining equipment manufacturers continue to deliver energy-efficient hardware. At World Digital Mining Summit on September 22nd, Bitcoin miners shared their plans to help decarbonize the crypto ecosystem. They're talking about the new highly efficient Antminer S21s at 17 and 16 joules per terahash, depending on if it's hydro or air. Bitmain rolled out its efficiency-focused Antminer S21, they go on to say. So what we are seeing is basically a whole wrap-up here of the mining industry for Bitcoin and the correlation of the cost of energy to the price of Bitcoin. And once again, like I stated, coming up here soon, we're going to have the halving hit, and we will go from 6 Bitcoins to 3 Bitcoins, and the price of Bitcoin will have to adjust in tandem. So we'll see basically the rise of Bitcoin running up to it. When we look at the calculations, I guess mine are getting a little outdated. I do need to go redo it because what we've had is a drop in energy costs here recently, actually, as opposed to an increase. We're starting to see even Texas energy prices get back down. I've heard of farms going up in like Houston, for example, where we're hitting 4 cents per kilowatt hour. Just an example of something recent. Whereas what we were hearing in Houston for quite some time was 6 to 7 cents per kilowatt hour. So the price is coming down on power, but we are also having the halving happen. So it will start to balance out. When I had looked at this previously, what we were looking at was somewhere around $46,000 to $48,000 per Bitcoin to be minted post halving. So my expectation is running up into the halving, we would see Bitcoin start to hit that 45 to 50,000 market price to compensate for the actual reduction in rewards of Bitcoin. And then, of course, the rest of the market will follow, like we're starting to see, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But we'll start to see the rest of that follow, and then what you would expect is retail to get bullish behind that, and then send those prices up within the next 6 to 9 months into a euphoria post-halving. So this is kind of what we're looking at and what I'm looking at when we're moving into it. There is, of course, the debate between purchasing older miners or purchasing newer miners that are more efficient, and that's going to be up to you and your mining strategies. Right now, ASIC miners are extremely cheap. They've gone down to 1/10 of what they were in the past. Thanks for watching this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here, and don't forget to subscribe down here as well. You can also check out my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com, where you can get a free month of supporter status with a purchase at sonofatech.locals.com. Also, don't forget to check out my merch underneath the video or at shop.sonofatech.com. I'll see you next Tuesday.